Oh no! Another pretty man wants me all to himself. What do I do? Please gaze upon me for eternity, my dear astrologist. You find yourself standing in the middle of a spiral staircase. What is this place? You look up. There are dazzling lights above, coupled with the echo of jovial laughter. You peer down. As the stairs descend into the black abyss, you are hit with a wave of melancholy. Continue walking up the stairs, or what is down below?
Why is this important? Also, wait, hang on. I love the GUI for this. That's pretty as hell. Proceed! You continue up the stairs into the breathtaking light as the lively chatter and laughter get louder. As you climb higher, a figure in the distance sharpens into clarity. The distant figure of a girl who looks lovingly at a distant star. Her lips move and her eyes crinkle joyfully. She laughs, and the sky shimmers all around as if laughing with her. My sanctuary, my universe. Through epochs, I have been awaiting you, my adored one. Your movement ceases. You freeze in place, watching the two lovers in awe. It's best not to intrude this special moment. The girl moves her lips again, a hand slowly reaching out towards her beloved star. I love you. You feel a soft and warm hand gently pat your cheek a few times. Galileo! Galileo! Figaro! I'm sorry. I know some of you are probably a little too young to know that reference. It's time to wake up now. The voice is quiet and soothing. However, it is laced with a little urgency. Hello? What's a pretty place like you doing in a thing like this? Your eyelids flutter open and meet with gentle, grayish-blue orbs. His gaze lingers on yours in silence for a few seconds. You feel the mattress of your bed dip slightly as the boy sits on the left edge of the bed, close to where you lie. He leans in, and the sweet aroma of tea wafts into your nostrils. Auriga, Cancer, and Orion. You begin studying his freckles, envisioning them as constellations in the night sky you love so much. Unfortunately, your fuzzy observations are interrupted as he pulls back. You're finally awake. I've been calling you for a while now, Galileo. A small sigh escapes his lips, not of annoyance but more of relief as the weight on your bed disappears. You hear the shuffling of footsteps and the clinking of teacups. You languidly stretch your arms, a yawn unfurling from your lips. Good morning, Atlas. You melt into the bed, enjoying how the silky sheets feel beneath you. Good morning, Galileo. It appears you've had a pleasant rest from how deeply you were asleep. You hum in agreement. The bed is like a cocoon, soft and warm. The calming smell of tea also embraces you, lulling you back into slumber. Did you rest well too, Atlas? Yeah, I did. Oh? Why are you still in bed, Galileo? Go wash up now. The tea will grow cold. We have arithmetics in the morning. You know how Mrs. Dana abhors lateness. You try your best to hide your grin. It is only the early morning hours, but your dorm mate is already fussing. Yes, mother. You reluctantly depart from the coziness of your bed, grabbing your uniform and making a beeline to the bathroom. You smile as you catch Atlas shaking his head slightly in your peripherals. After quickly changing into your uniform and washing up, you open the door, refreshed, and join Atlas at the tea table. You take a sip of the warm tea in front of you and smile. Atlas made it just how you like it. Peppermint, chamomile, green tea, black tea. I'm feeling chamomile today. I do love the floral notes of those. with no sugar. And no milk.
And no milk. It's delicious, Atlas. Thank you. You don't need to thank me every morning. I'm happy to make tea for us both. Despite his words, his lips curved upwards. I still think it's important to tell you that I appreciate everything you do for me, Atlas. You wrap both hands around your cup of warm tea as you admire the scenery outside the window. You did not notice the blush creeping up Atlas's cheeks. The early morning light is bright. There is condensation on the window, so the garden outside is akin to oil paint on a canvas. Loose and carefree. Atlas was just scaring you. You two were never going to be late for class. You and Atlas woke up very early in the morning to share a cup of tea and chatted together before a full day of schoolwork. The whole world is quiet, other than the occasional clinking of the teacup on the table opposite you every time Atlas set his teacup down. Right now, you two are the only ones existing in this quaint little world. What do you chat about with Atlas?
Books, schoolwork, gossip. Let's talk about gossip. I need the tea.
Have you heard about the recent drama between Theodore and Lucas?
Your eyes glimmer mischievously. The affairs of others are often akin to a good book.
Atlas stiffens, and for a second, you can feel a coldness from your best friend. But that dissipates, fleeting like a gust of wind. Atlas is a nice person and avoids initiating conversations about the business of others. No, I haven't. Atlas shakes his head slowly, his tone flat and filled with boredom.
It's not as bad as you think, and I promise it's quite funny.
Atlas responds with a weak smile, urging you to continue.
Apparently, Lucas and Theodore plan to dance in the middle of a quiz during potionology to distract Mr. Yearwood, you know? And waste time because they didn't memorize any of the brewing ingredients. You giggle, covering your mouth with your hand, as the image of Theodore acting wildly dances in your mind. Theodore started dancing, but Lucas chickened out at the last minute, so Theodore got into massive trouble for distracting the class.
So that was why Mr. Yearwood was upset and mentioned something about writing a new quiz for one of the other classes.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it's kind of sad Lucas bailed out without telling Theodore. I think they're still fighting over it.
Atlas lets out a tired sigh. That is their friendship. We can't comment much on that. However, betraying your friend like that is absolutely cowardly and deserving of condemnation.
Well, I know you would never bail on me if I wanted to dance in the middle of class.
Atlas choked slightly on his teeth. Why is he so cute? Of course, I will accompany you in anything you wish, but I'd rather you not have any strange ideas.
Let's talk about books.
I saw you were very invested in a book when we were at the library yesterday. Did you finish reading it? Oh, yes, I did. Atlas smiles happily at the mention of books. What is it about? A wanderer who loved exploring, but fell in love with a librarian cursed to never leave her library. Atlas sighed, a little dreamy-eyed. He had always loved romantic stories. A wanderer who is always moving, and a librarian who is always in the same place. That's an interesting relationship dynamic. But no matter how far the wanderer would go, he would always return to her. No matter what sights he sees, who he meets, he always returns to the library and shares his tales of adventures with her. What devotion! You nod, impressed, as Atlas joins in enthusiastically. Maybe the librarian can write all the wanderer's adventures in a book and put it in her library. That way, he can always be by her side, even when they're apart. How did you guess that part of the story, Galileo? Atlas laughs, clapping his hands in delight. What do you chat about? Schoolwork. Thank goodness we finished our project early last week. That means we have more time to read in the library today. Let's not get too excited. Mrs. Dana gives a lot of arithmetics homework. True, whole chapters at a time too. And we have a potionology quiz in a few days. Both of you pout slightly, hands clasping together, hoping your precious library's day will not be swamped with homework and assignments. Speaking about potionology, don't you also have to prepare for the potionology competition as our school's representative? You sure have your hands full, Atlas. Oh, I've already submitted. So soon? On second thought, I'm not surprised. I genuinely believe even college professors cannot triumph you in this subject. You flatter me, Galileo. I have much to learn. Yeah, let's talk about the dream we had. I had a dream about a girl professing her love to a star. Oh? Atlas sips his tea, intrigued. Like the little astrologist confessing her love to the nameless star. Now that you mention it, you're spot on, Watson. Atlas grins back, pleased with himself. Did you also see the moon then? You pause to think about Atlas's question. I didn't have a good look. I'm sorry, Atlas. I didn't have a good look. I was distracted by their love confession. It was so ethereal. All my attention was focused solely on them. Atlas's lips tremble, and he looks crestfallen at your words. I'm sure you will have a dream about the little astrologist and her nameless star one of these nights, Atlas. You can go see the moon and comfort them in their darkest hour. I know you've always wished for the happiness of your favorite characters, Atlas. Before Atlas can reply, you hear a sharp knock at the door before it disappears. That's the signal for the dorms to wake up and begin preparing for breakfast at the dining hall. For early birds like you and Atlas, that's the signal to finish your tea time and review your notes from yesterday before the first lesson. Atlas gazes at you, suddenly serious and determined. Let's review arithmetics first. You groan a little, but immediately pull out your textbook. The parameterization of rational points on a conic begins with considering the variable. Thankfully, after a full day of classes, you were not left with a lot of homework to finish in the evening. Even Mrs. Dana exercised some restraints on this particular day and stopped herself from giving the class a whole extra chapter of questions. As always, you and Atlas chose a table furthest away from all the fireplaces in the library. As Atlas settles down opposite you, he looks at you teasingly, his chin resting on his hand. You always complain about arithmetics class, but your results tell a different story, Galileo. I whine, I tease back. I'm gonna tease back. Sir Atlas triumphantly returns from his arithmetic test crusade in complete victory, whilst the humblest Galileo was beset by 2 errors in his endeavors. You put your hand to your chest, as if you are a wounded knight. The first wound is from Zariski topology. You fall back into your chair. Second wound from quadratic forms. Oh no. Oh! Sir Atlas, the future of finite fields and projective varieties is up to you. You go limp. Atlas giggles at your display of silliness. I know you work very hard in your studies regardless of your personal feelings or external influences. Please, don't feel disappointed, Galileo. You still received one of the highest scores in our class, no? An accelerated arithmetics class, no less. If that is not capable, I don't know what is. Oh, Atlas, let me have some fun. However, I do appreciate the heartfelt encouragement from our school's ducks. You wave your hand, embarrassed, and pick up your pen. First one who finishes this arithmetic worksheet gets... the glory of being the winner! 1, 2, 3, go! You start doing the equations as you are counting down. Atlas chuckles while slowly picking up his pen. Galileo, where is your shame? Somewhere in the finite fields. How? Why? You watch helplessly as Atlas puts down his pen. You then stare blankly at your half-finished worksheet. Galileo, this isn't a competition. You needn't feel so disheartened. Just once, I want to win against you. Just once! But I'm happy you never go easy on me, Atlas. You take your contest seriously. Of course, I have respect for my opponent. Since I have won, can I please have a reward?
You have the glory of being the winner?
Is that not satisfying enough? Other than being a satisfied winner, you sigh in defeat, putting your hands up to surrender. What does my dear Atlas wish to have from this pitiful loser? Take off your blazer vest. Atlas,
I didn't know you were so frivolous until today.
Oh, don't let your mind wander so ridiculously.
Hey, if you're wondering what I'm hiding inside my blazer vest, it's just straight up. I should probably not show this on YouTube. It's probably not a good idea.
If for those of you who don't know what it is, don't worry about it. I said don't worry about it. Stop worrying about it. Your chest pocket has some loose seams. Let me help you sew it back on.
Take off your blazer vest. Give me yours then. I'm fine with the way it is. Yeah, I'm gonna take it off.
Whatever the winner says goes. You obediently take off your blazer vest and dutifully hand it to Atlas. Atlas takes your blazer vest and brings out the mini sewing kit he has in his pocket.
Aw, man, Atlas is way too goddamn pretty. Oh my god.
You watch your best friend gently smooth out the fabric and start fixing your pocket. Thank you for doing this for me, Atlas. So, why can't we just hand it to the school seamstress? This is hardly a suitable reward for the winner. I don't want to waste your precious time with some loose seams on my clothes. I want to do this, Galileo. Haven't I told you before? My sewing skills will grow rusty if I don't find things to practice on. You sigh and nod at your friend's reasoning. The both of you work in silence for a while, until Atlas speaks up. Galileo, remember why Mrs. Dana did not set a lot of homework today? You finish scribbling in the last answer, and then place your pen down on the table to think. Mrs. Dana mentioned something about a night market tonight, and how she's sure we are all too busy having fun to do the work, so she won't even try. Yeah, it's a small night market held in the central capital to collect some funds for the large-scale market in half a year's time. A trial run, you would say. To see if there's interest in making this an annual event. The mayor wishes to bring more moments of joy for the citizens. That sounds really fun, although it's probably too late for us to go. Don't we need to inform the school early to prepare one of the school carriages for us? And we need to ask permission from administration to leave the academy. You scratch your head. The amount of permissions you need to request from the academy is overwhelming. There's just no time to receive all the permissions at this hour. I've already applied for us to leave campus tonight. The carriage is prepared too. You jump up in excitement. Oh, Atlas, you have had all this planned out since the beginning. Let's go back to the dorms and pack up. We leave in 2 hours. The moment you step down from the carriages, you are hit with the delicious smell of sizzling sausages, baked bread, and candy. The streets in the capital are currently filled with warm lights and the cacophony of noise. Vendors selling their goods, young children running around with toys in their hands, and families enjoying the night. A hand gently wraps around yours, take you out of your trance. It's crowded. We don't want to lose each other. You give Atlas a tight squeeze, bouncing up and down in excitement. Let's go, Galileo. It might be small, but there's still more to see than just standing here. You allow Atlas to lead you into the sea of people. What do you do here? Well, let's take a look around. You two decide to walk around first and see everything the night market has to offer. You and Atlas sniff new and strange perfume concoctions.
After 2 bottles, every bottle suddenly starts smelling the same.
Is this a new special side effect?
You wheeze while Atlas laughs at you. Admires the adorable knitted kitten. I mean, animals.
Look, Galileo! It's a... Oh! Why is it so cute?
This is clearly a goose, Atlas.
Huh?
The two of you keep walking until Atlas suddenly stops. He turns his head in the direction directly opposite the line of stalls set up. You follow his gaze and you see a small shop selling secondhand goods. More specifically, he is eyeing a print of a painting displayed behind the window. It is a nostalgic painting of a cozy cottage surrounded by flowers, bare of luxury material but bountiful in nature's gifts. Atlas stares at the painting in silence for a long time without blinking, his hand squeezing yours tighter than before.
Do you like the painting, Atlas?
You try to peek at the sign on the store's entrance, disappointed to see that it is already closed.
No, I just thought the colors were beautiful. That's all. Sorry for stalling. We can move on now.
It is indeed a beautiful painting. Shame to see the capital no longer has this type of architecture anymore.
I'm sure it exists outside the capital, somewhere in a quiet place. Just the cottage, the sky, and nature, where we will live the rest of our days.
We? Instead of replying, Atlas pulls you along back into the lively noise. After sharing some hot pretzels and browsing some more, the two of you make your way back to the academy. You feel so tired, you don't have the energy to stargaze tonight. After washing up and changing, you doze off the moment your head hits the pillow.
Galileo, are you asleep now?
The same soft and warm hand gently pats your cheek. Slower and more deliberate this time around. Upon confirming you are asleep, the boy steps away and walks to the tea table. He places both hands on the edge of the table, his face blank, staring out of the window.
The moon is beautiful, isn't it? A full moon to end a wonderful night. You know, Galileo, I was worried this morning.
Atlas turns around to look at your sleeping figure. His shadow pulls over your bed, as if devouring you whole.
I thought I infused too much sleeping potion in the tea leaves last night, and that was why you struggled to wake up this morning. But I checked tonight, and made sure the tea was infused perfectly. There won't be any mishaps anymore. I will continue to wake you up every morning, and you will answer to my call with your cute, sleepy expression. I will be the first face you see every morning, the last face you see at night. I want to be your universe. Please, keep your eyes on me only, my astrologist.
Atlas walks to the edge of your bed again, this time sitting beside you. He tenderly brushes his knuckles against your cheek.
The painting we saw today is the future I envisioned for us. We would live together in a cozy little cottage away from everyone else. In the morning, we'd drink tea and chat about the frivolous mundane. In the afternoon, we'd read together in a garden surrounded by flowers. And at night, we'd admire the stars together.
Atlas lies down beside you, his arms around your sleeping figure, and his cheeks pressing against your shoulder.
I'll do anything and everything to make that into a reality, Galileo. I hate it here, in the capital. The noblesse oblige, these suffocating expectations, a life which never slows down. Most of all, I don't want to be the family heir. Ugly hypocrites, all of them. I don't want anything in this world other than you. Let's run away together, somewhere far away. From then on, it will just be Atlas and Galileo. For eternity. Atlas rubs his cheeks against your shoulder. You were so sweet today, Galileo. You gave the blazer vest to me immediately. I'm so happy you trust me so much. I never knew learning how to sew back then would have such wonderful perks. Starting from the top of your forehead, Atlas runs his index finger down along the middle of your face, tracing your nose and finally stopping at your lips. Atlas stares longingly at your lips. Yet he sighs and stands up again. Good night, my astrologist. Unfortunately, I still have some pest control duties tonight. But I will have a surprise for you in the morning. I wonder what face you will make when you receive it. As usual, in the morning, you wake up to Atlas's gentle voice. You did not dream today. You quickly join Atlas at the tea table. However, this morning feels different. Instead of Atlas's usual gentle smile, a frown is adorned on his face. Galileo, I need to tell you something important. What is it, Atlas? You straighten up and look at your dorm mate with your full attention, your tea abandoned on the table. Atlas chews on his bottom lip. According to the staff, sometime after we arrived back from the night market, Theodore pushed Lucas down the balcony on the highest floor.
Wait, what?
Lucas is in the hospital with a coma, and Theodore has been taken out of the school. Lucas might never wake up. You feel a cold chill run down your spine. How? Why? Are they not best friends? Atlas looks miserable, contemplating how to respond. I don't like reinforcing the spread of rumors, but apparently, according to what you told me yesterday, Theodore may have harbored resentment towards Lucas, and it might have reached a breaking point. They had a massive argument prior to the incident, so when we were all asleep, Theodore, Your best friend covers his face with his hands, refusing to continue. You are shaking like a leaf at the news. Yet seeing how Atlas is trembling, you stand up and wrap your arms around him. Thank you, Atlas. You don't need to say anything more. I'm sorry you had to tell me such terrible news. Atlas hugs back, holding you tightly. It's horrible, Galileo. I'm sorry. If only I hadn't told you anything about Theodore and Lucas's relationship, maybe you wouldn't feel so burdened right now. I promise, I won't talk about other people to you anymore. You feel Atlas nod his head.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay, so I'm a bit curious about what happens if we choose to descend instead. You feel drawn towards the sea of the dark abyss and begin descending down. The deeper you traverse, the more you are able to pass out muffled voices. Why? How could my radiance pale in comparison to that nameless star? Why did you choose them, but not me? Answer me, little astrologist. I love you. I adore you. I was always by your side. So then, after all I have done, why won't you look my way? I am willing to dedicate all the brilliance of the night to you. What can that star possibly do to make you happier than when you are with me? I can't live without your affection. A pitiful whimper echoes across the darkness, followed by an almost inaudible sobbing, as if breathless. You walk closer, to comfort or to take a glimpse upon the source of this voice. Yet the voice of grief stops abruptly. It turns almost twisted. If I can't have you, then I will. Okay then, we're gonna skip ahead. I had a dream about someone heartbroken over their love, falling for another. Atlas stays quiet for a moment, his eyes suddenly soft and filled with empathy. Unrequited love is indeed so. It's just like the moon watching their beloved astrologist fall in love with the nameless star. May every heart be reciprocated, every lover be reunited, every love have an enchanting end. Quoting the witch's regret now, are we? Says the one who mentioned the little astrologist and her nameless star first. Before Atlas can reply, you hear a sharp knock at the door before it disappears, and we're skipping ahead. Okay, apparently we're gonna get a special scene if we were to get black tea with no sugar and no milk. It's delicious, Atlas. Thank you. You don't need to thank me every morning. I'm happy to make tea for us both. Despite his words, his lips curve upwards. We both love drinking the same preparation of the tea anyway, so it's truly no trouble. Perhaps we have developed the same taste after spending so much time in each other's company. Well, you have become an avid stargazer ever since I came along. I believe there is some evidence to prove this theory. It appears we are very much inseparable in everything we do and enjoy. That's even more of a reason for me to tell you that I appreciate everything you do for me, Atlas. You wrap both hands around your cup of warm tea as you admire the scenery outside the window. You did not notice the blush creeping up on Atlas's cheeks. The early morning light is bright. There is condensation on the window, so the garden outside is akin to oil painting on a canvas, and we're gonna skip ahead. Apparently over here, we're supposed to keep teasing back, so I'm just gonna do right that. And I'm gonna ask him to give me his blazer as well, so yeah. But I'm cold without my blazer vest. Even though we are the furthest away from the fireplaces, the library feels very warm right now. I'm still cold. You sniff stubbornly, staring at Atlas's blazer vest. Atlas catches your gaze and chuckles upon realizing what you desire. He immediately takes off his blazer vest, along with you, swapping them as if conducting a trade. You put on Atlas's blazer vest. It's warm and smells pleasantly of black tea. You resume your arithmetics homework while Atlas begins working on your blazer. You can wear my blazer vest whenever you wish to, Galileo. Even when you're not cold, as long as you feel like wearing it, I'll give it to you. You look up from your work and see Atlas with his attention still focused on sewing. Count your days, Atlas. This will only last until I score a victory. Then I guess I will never let you win, knowing this now. We'll see about that. Plus, you've never let me win once in the 4 years we've known each other. Atlas only smiles knowingly in reply. The both of you work in silence for a while, until Atlas speaks up. Galileo, remember why Mrs. Dana did not set a lot of homework today? Oh, okay, I'm pretty sure all this is the same, so we're gonna skip ahead. Let's take a closer look at the stores. A stall selling prints of constellations and small model telescopes immediately distracts you. Sensing your eagerness, Atlas leads you to where the stall is. You eye the goods with excitement. Although you already own very similar items, it is still fun to look at. An enthusiast of the stars, kid. The vendor looks at you, amused by your obvious interest. Yeah, I presume you're also an enthusiast, sir. The vendor gives you a toothy grin. Yep, loved them ever since I was a kid. The nights have been extra clear recently, so I've been stargazing every night. Likewise. You can see Capella very clearly as of late. I assume you will be keeping an eye out for the shooting star that's descending in a few months. Shooting stars? You perk up, eager to hear more from the vendor. It's very recent news. There will be a shooting star one of these nights later in the year. Oh, of course I will be watching it then. Atlas? You turn to your side, only to realize your best friend had disappeared. Before you can panic, the vendor points to a stall a few meters ahead. Your friend slipped out to that jewelry store and over there, kid. Hurry along now. You wouldn't want to lose him in this crowd. You thank and bid goodbye to the vendor before catching up with Atlas, who has just finished purchasing something. Galileo! Sorry for leaving so suddenly. I wanted to browse the jewelry stall, but seeing you in conversation, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Of course. Don't worry about it, Atlas. What did you buy? I've never seen you wear jewelry before.
It's not for me. I bought a necklace for my mother.
Atlas pulls out a small jewelry box to show you. However, it was sealed perfectly with a ribbon.
It would be a shame to unravel it so soon. The receiver should be the one to reveal the delight.
I'm sure it's beautiful. Your mother will love it.
Atlas smiles and takes his hand into yours again.
After sharing some hot pretzels and browsing some more, the two of you make your way back to the academy, and we'll skip ahead.
Atlas takes out the box he bought at the night market. He carelessly pulls the perfectly tied ribbon apart and gingerly takes out the contents from the box. The box is then thrown haphazardly onto the floor, along with the ribbon. Walking up to you quietly, he slides one matching ring on the fourth finger of his left hand and carefully slips one on yours. Atlas then lies down beside you and holds up your hand, admiring it. The silver jewelry sparkles like a star under the moonlight. It fits so well, Galileo. I will find an engraver so our initials can be on it too. He hovers his left hand across your face so the cool metal band is touching your lips. He then withdraws his hand and leans in to kiss it himself. You were so cheeky today, Galileo. You had no idea how happy I was to see my blazer vest on you. You're so cute. I never knew learning how to sew back then would have such wonderful perks. Starting from the top of your forehead, Atlas runs his index finger down the middle of your face, tracing your nose and finally stopping at your lips. Atlas stares longingly at your lips. He leans in slowly and brushes his lips against your cheek.
He withdraws immediately, his face burning.
You'll be the death of me, Galileo. I can't live without your affection. Good night, my astrologist. Unfortunately, I still have some pest control duties tonight. But I will have a surprise for you in the morning. I wonder what face you will make when you receive it.
Anyway, that was Over the Moon. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this game for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. This is a very promising demo and a very pretty one at that. Like, I gotta say, like, the tropes that are like shown here, this is very classic yandere. It's like compared to what we've seen over like the past couple of years. Like, I'm looking forward to this. I really want to see like what happens next to the story. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.